Well, folks, it looks like Donald Trump just walked himself into another lawsuit against him from E. Jean Carroll and her team because of his new comments about her and the cases that she brought against him. Now, reminder, E. Jean Carroll has already won 2 defamation cases against Donald Trump and proved that Donald Trump sexually abused her in civil court. A jury of his peers unanimously sided with E. Jean Carroll and said, yes, Donald Trump did that to her, and yes, he defamed her. You'd think that after winning 2 cases against him, he would just stop talking about E. Jean Carroll, but he simply cannot control himself. So this started when Donald Trump released a Memorial Day statement today, and he attacked his opponents. And by the way, the Memorial Day statement didn't mention fallen American soldiers once. Didn't talk about their sacrifice, their experience, their families. He only talked about his opponents and his beef with different judges and, of course, with E. Jean Carroll. So here's the statement in question that Donald Trump put out today. It says, "Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country, and to the radical left, Trump-hating federal judge in New York that presided over, get this, 2 separate trials that awarded a woman who I never met before, a quick handshake at a celebrity event 25 years ago, doesn't count, $91 million for defamation. She didn't know when the so-called event took place, sometime in the 1990s, never filed a police report, didn't have to produce the dress that she threatened me with. It showed negative, and sung my praises in the first half of her CNN interview with Allison Cooper, but changed her tune in the second half. Gee, I wonder why. Under appeal." So you can see that Donald Trump didn't directly say E. Jean Carroll's name, but we all know who he's talking about. He is talking about E. Jean Carroll and the 2 defamation cases that she brought against him and her claim of sexual assault, which he has now proven in court. And as I mentioned, a jury of his peers unanimously ruled that E. Jean Carroll proved the claim that she made. And again, Donald Trump in this statement is calling E. Jean Carroll a liar, saying that she made it up, saying that she couldn't remember evidence, that she didn't have to produce evidence, that it was all fake. Of course, all of this is not true. It's a complete misrepresentation of the facts. But what's new with Donald Trump? But what he's doing here is calling her a liar, saying that she made it all up. And that is against the cases that have already happened. Trump called her a liar, said that she made it up, and then he lost 2 defamation cases because of it. Now has to pay her well over $80 million in fees because he lost these cases and because he sexually abused her. So I have no idea why he continues to talk about her. It's just going to go incredibly badly. But this right here is defaming E. Jean Carroll. He is lying about her and the cases that have already been settled in New York State under current law. And so in response to this, E. Jean Carroll's lawyers hit back, and she put Donald Trump on notice about what might be coming in the future in the form of another lawsuit. So journalist Maggie Haberman, who works at the New York Times and with CNN, got some reporting for us on this story, specifically the quote from E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, and she put out this statement on social media saying, "After Trump, who arrived in New York last night, attacked E. Jean Carroll again on Truth Social today, her lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, says, quote, we have said several times since the last jury verdict in January that all options were on the table, and that remains true today. All options are on the table." Now that is basically insinuating that there might be another lawsuit, that they are closely watching Donald Trump and what he says about their client, and that all of these options for a third lawsuit, E. Jean Carroll versus Trump 3, is on the table and very possible and something that they are considering. They have talked about this before, even prior to this moment today. So it seems like they're gearing up for a third lawsuit, and they should. They absolutely should. If they feel that they have the evidence, they should bring that case like that, like immediately tomorrow. Because Donald Trump can't keep getting away with this. He can't keep calling E. Jean Carroll a liar when 2 court cases have proved otherwise. They've proved that not only did he sexually abuse her, and he defamed her as well. He can't keep getting away with this, and I think E. Jean Carroll's lawyers are on that same page. And to quickly touch on the point that E. Jean Carroll's lawyer just made, this is not the first time since January that Donald Trump has talked about E. Jean Carroll and the cases that she brought against him. Matter of fact, he talked about her in the case in an interview that he did in March. This was covered by a CNBC article saying E. Jean Carroll lawyer suggests third Trump defamation lawsuit possible after new comments. And here are the comments that he made, saying, "They're the most ridiculous decisions," Trump said, including the Miss Bergdorf Goodman, a person I'd never met. I have no idea who she is, except one thing: I got sued. From that point on, I said, wow, that's crazy what this is. I got charged. I was given a false accusation and had to post a $91 million bond. So, again, we know who he's talking about. He doesn't directly say her name, but Miss Bergdorf Goodman, the location where E. Jean Carroll proved that Donald Trump sexually abused her, the $91 million, the I have no idea who she is. We know that he's talking about E. Jean Carroll, and he's continuing to lie that he has no idea who she is. There's a picture of them together. There's a picture of them together. They have met prior. They have met. And Donald Trump is the same guy who didn't want to produce his DNA for the trial, which could have exonerated him, right? He chose not to. He and his lawyers said, no, we're not giving up the DNA until it was too late. And this is the same guy who claims that he's never met her, even though there's a picture of them together. So he's lying. He's lying about her, trying to make her look bad, trying to paint her as a liar who's falsely accusing him of something that he didn't do, but that is not true. 2 court cases have already settled the matter. And look, my reaction to this entire story is it must be the worst job in the world to be Donald Trump's lawyer. This is a man who just doesn't stop talking. He constantly finds himself in bad positions that he himself created. He'll talk his way into a claim that he has to defend, or he'll talk his way into some defamation, or whatever it might be. He just doesn't stop talking, which is a lawyer's nightmare. Normally, you want the client to just not reference the case before you or previous cases, especially cases that could have another edition, like the E. Jean Carroll lawsuits against Donald Trump, but he doesn't follow that advice. It must be the worst job in the world to work for Donald Trump as a lawyer, not only because he doesn't stop talking, but, a lot of his lawyers have had to hire their own lawyers after being exposed to potential criminal activity. But that's Trump world, right? If you step foot in Mar-a-Lago, if you come in to 10 feet within Donald Trump, you probably got to hire yourself a lawyer. You might have witnessed a crime and now you're in legal jeopardy. But man, Trump just continues to shoot himself in the foot, and I really think that E. Jean Carroll's lawyer should bring a 3rd lawsuit. He continues to lie about her, he continues to defame her, and it's unacceptable. The cases have settled the matters at hand, and Donald Trump continues to lie. It's unacceptable. It's not right, and given everything that Donald Trump has said about her since January, I'd keep an eye out in the near future for another E. Jean Carroll lawsuit. So I'll leave the video there. Fingers crossed that they decide to do this. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. Also, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about all this. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, share the video with anybody you think needs to see it. And as always, I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.